Tonight on News Hour. 24 years after violent clashes, Jos community reunites for peace. Kano government urges authority to abide by ruling, hails appeal court judgment on Emirate Tussle. National grid collapses for first time in 2025. On the foreign scene, Algeria rejects France's accusation of escalation in diplomatic role. Hello and welcome to the News Hour tonight. I am Aisha Salihu. Over the next hour, we will bring you details of stories and events from different parts of the country and of course the nation's capital Abuja and developments on the international scene. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour. Now, members of Gangare community in Jos North local government area of Plateau State have reunited 2 decades after the 2001 ethno-religious violence that erupted in the state's capital. The 2001 crisis, which subsequently spread to various communities within and outside the state capital, claimed the lives of several people in the state. Ado Musa witnessed the event where warring parties embraced peace and now reports.
After the 2001 crisis, the communities, especially within the state capital, have been divided along Christian and Muslim lines. In an effort to promote mutual coexistence between members who lived together in the past but were divided during the crisis, Christians and Muslims of Gangare community have organized what they describe as the Gangare Brotherhood Reunion to reunite faithful of 2 religions. We were living in peace before the crisis. I was the Equa Church pastor here in Gangare, but today I have relocated to another community. I am impressed with the reunion and I pray God helps us achieve togetherness. Today is a significant day for us. It is a day that we are reawakening the spirit of togetherness that had died among. Islam does not teach to fight our neighbor because of his religion. I strongly believe that what happened in 2001 a result of selfish interests of a few. Whoever fights their neighbors because of their religion is not acting in accordance with the Islamic teachings. Mata Dauda and Justina are residents of Gangare who relocated to other communities. They recall how they lived with their Muslim counterparts before the crisis.
I gave birth to 8 of my children here in Gangare. Some of you here cannot recognize me because I am old now. We thank God for this reunion. We cannot achieve peace until we, the elders, teach our children the significance of peace. Once we fail to take our responsibility as parents, we will eventually cry. Christianity and Islam don't teach violence. I grew up in Gangare community. After the crisis, we relocated to other community. But today I am in Gangare. We have come together as brothers and sisters like before, sitting in one hall. This shows that we are one. We were all created by God and religion's differences should not separate us. The devil used some of us to create crisis. We thank God that we are beginning to understand that.
Usman Ali is the Gangare community leader. He speaks on the significance of the meeting. I was born and grew up here. The Christians who attended this meeting are either my contemporaries or younger ones. We are all born here. We appreciate the wisdom given to us by God to find them and bring them closer to us. So, as long as this meeting is organized sincerely, it will go a long way in ensuring peace and togetherness in the state. Despite what had happened, residents of the community are hopeful that the meeting will close the chapter of acrimony and open the path of peace and harmony among them. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Elsewhere, the Kano State government has called on all parties involved in the Kano Emirate saga to respect the decision of the appeal court. Trust TV reports that a 3-member panel of justices on Friday, in their judgment, read by Justice Gabriel Kolawole, held that the nullification of Sanusi II's appointment was done without the required jurisdiction and ordered the transfer of the suit to the Kano State High Court. Justice Kolawole held that the matter, being a chieftaincy dispute, ought to have been determined by the High Court of Kano State rather than the Federal High Court. Speaking during a World Press Conference held on Saturday, the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice in Kano, Haruna Isa Dederi, said the verdict overturns earlier decisions by the Federal High Court and validates the government's lawful actions regarding the chieftaincy appointments and reforms in the state's traditional institutions. He reiterated that all decisions, pronouncements and orders made by the Federal High Court, Kano, have been quashed and set aside by the Court of Appeal.
In strict adherence to the rule of law and in defense of democracy, all public and private institutions, as well as individuals, are required to comply with the Court of Appeal decision and act accordingly to give full effect to the judgment. We extend our appreciation sincerely to the judiciary for upholding the principles of justice and fairness. The Kano State government remains committed to working with traditional institutions, ensuring harmony and fostering development across all emirates. We urge all parties to respect the court's judgment and join hands with the government to promote peace, unity, and progress in our beloved state.
Still in Kano, a former Kano State Commissioner for Rural and Community Development, Abbas Sani Abbas, has dumped the new Nigeria People's Party for the All Progressives Congress. Governor Abba Yusuf had in December 2024 sacked Abbas and 5 other commissioners during a cabinet shake-up. In a statement on Saturday, Ismail Mudashir, the special advisor to the Deputy President of the Senate, Barau Jibrin, on media and publicity, said Abbas's defection to the APC was announced during a visit to the lawmaker's house in Kano on Friday night. The statement said Jibrin received Abbas alongside the APC chairman in Kano, Abdullahi Abbas, and other party leaders, adding that the former commissioner pledged to work towards the success of his new party across Kano State and beyond, while stressing that the APC is big enough to accommodate all lovers of the country. They said they will continue to promote the values of good governance, inclusivity, and service to humanity. Now, residents of Abakba community in Kaduna have appealed to the state government to intervene in the land dispute between it and the Nigerian Defense Academy. Trustee Bello Musa, who visited the community, reports that residents who have become wary due to the heavy military presence there want the crisis sorted out to enable them continue with their normal day-to-day lives. The report.
The dispute between the Abakpa community and the Nigerian Defense Academy over land has a long history. However, the issue has resurfaced with the recent presence of the military in the area, causing significant anxiety among residents.
To be honest, we suffered here, and most of us are widows, and we engage in house help to feed our children. Now they demolished our houses. We are finished because we have no place to go.
Residents claim they have lived in the community for generations, inheriting the land from their forefathers. Our parents lived here before I was born. They engaged in farming, and now we are being threatened to vacate our land. Besides, we farm here, and it's our source of livelihood.
To a takaice dai ni kakana ne gado na waje
My grandfather inherited the land from my great-grandfather, and my father inherited it from his father as well. And now I have inherited it. They marked our houses for demolition and asked us to vacate our farm. We don't know where to go from here. Despite numerous attempts to address the grievances with the relevant authorities, the land dispute has once again come to the fore. As a representative of the community, we forwarded our complaint to Kaduna North local government, and we also informed the relevant authorities. The urban renewal project undertaken by the previous Kaduna State administration impacted some parts of the old NDA site, and a fence was erected to demarcate the academy's boundaries from the neighboring community. Currently, the Kaduna State government is actively engaged in road construction work within the area. The previous administration embarked on road construction and a fence that demarcates the academics' boundaries, yet they want to claim our land. Raju Dansani, the village head of Abakwa, is urgently appealing to the state government to intervene and resolve the matter.
Don Allah, don girman Allah, a ceci mutanen nan sama da mutum 500.
We are appealing to the government to intervene. Hundreds of people are living in this community. Soldiers came and marked their house for demolition. They lived for more than a century in the community. Attempts to reach out to the Nigerian Defense Academy for comment were unsuccessful. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Now, major parts of Nigeria have been thrown into darkness as the national grid experienced a collapse on Saturday, marking the first time in the year. According to data obtained from the Nigerian System Operators Portal, the collapse occurred at 1:56 p.m. This incident follows a pattern of instability, with the grid suffering about 12 consecutive collapses in 2024. The cause of the latest failure is yet to be disclosed by government authority as at the time of filing this report. However, reports say there is power supply in parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. In the meantime, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has issued an order to transfer regulatory oversight of the electricity market in Niger to the State Electricity Regulatory Commission. The Commission, in a statement on its X handle in Abuja on Friday, said that the transfer was in compliance with the Constitution and the Electricity Act 2023 as amended. The Commission said, in accordance with the provisions of the EA 2023, it retains a role as a central regulator with regulatory oversight on the interstate and international generation, transmission, supply, trading, and system operations. It said the EA also mandates any state that intends to establish and regulate intrastate electricity markets to deliver a formal notification of its processes and request to NERC to transfer regulatory authority over electricity operations to its regulator. Now, as schools resume for the second term after the Christmas and the New Year holiday, parents in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, have been lamenting the hike in tuition fees and cost of other educational materials. According to them, the current economic hardship in the country has made it difficult for them to cope with the tuition hike and therefore called on governments at all levels to intervene. Hamid Oyegbade files this report.
The cost of education in Nigeria from nursery to tertiary levels has become a subject of national discourse as most people struggle to meet up with the financial responsibilities. With a 34.6% inflation in Nigeria, parents say the current economic situation is making it difficult for them to pay school fees.
Current high costs, regular increase in the tuition fees of children, starting from the primary to the higher institution in Nigeria, is seriously affecting parents because of the current economic situation of our country, which is seriously affecting all parents. Presently, we are experiencing dropout of students, out of school students, increasing in the number of out of school students due to the increase in the tuition fees.
One, there's inflation generally in the country and people's salaries are not being increased. So people already made a budget on, okay, whatever they are getting, and now schools are just increasing prices. It is out of budget for some parents. So it's really affecting parents, and most parents cannot afford it. They are pulling their children out of school, and some, especially in the tertiary institution, they're asking their children to work for some certain period of time to gather money for themselves. By themselves, then they will support. So it's not really encouraging academics anymore.
Those who run the schools, our school owners, proprietors, also are part of the society, and you know they run businesses, and for the fact that things are now at high cost and the rate of things have skyrocketed, most of them have had to increase school fee so that they can meet up the economic reality of the society, and that is why education is now very, very expensive and it's highly unaffordable.
They called on government to address the economic hardship to make life bearable for Nigerians. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
Now, still in the southwest region of the country, 12 male defendants accused of involvement in the murder of an Ajayi Crowther University undergraduate, Jeffrey Akro, have been granted bail by Justice Ladiran Akintola of the Oyo State High Court. The defendants were admitted to temporary release on a 5 million naira bail bond with their parents as serving as sureties. The report.
The pursuit of justice for the family and loved ones of 22-year-old Jeffrey Alex Akro, a mechanical engineering student at Ajayi Crowther University, Oyo, who allegedly died from torture inflicted by his colleagues, has been a long and tortuous journey. However, in a significant development, parties involved in the case have made substantial progress towards an amicable resolution benefiting all concerned. As a result, they have jointly petitioned the court to exercise discretion in granting bail to the defendants.
If you listen to the terms of the bail condition, it is fair on the side of the victim. Whether the defendant will consider it as fair, I don't know. But the most important thing is the pronouncement, and which every lawyer knows, that the granting of bail is not a declaration of innocence or an acquittal.
The court, in its ruling, ordered the management of the University College Hospital Ibadan to immediately release the remains of the late mechanical engineering student to his family for burial and granted bail in the sum of 5 million naira to 12 defendants. The court explained that it does not intend to trivialize the sensitivity of the matter, but to assuage the pains of the family of the deceased.
It's not so much of a reaction. It's still a sober, situation for everyone, for the prosecution as well as for the defendants. And there's no amount of sympathies that totally captures the trauma that will naturally be felt in a situation like this.
He made sure that all the parties, the views of all the parties were well understood. As a father, as a judge, he considered a lot of factors. Even before coming with his ruling, he spoke to the students and to the suspects. You understand? He counseled them as a father and as a pastor also. I'm sure he had an inkling into some possible things that would have led to that incident. So I would say the judge was right. He exercised his power judiciously and judicially. It would be difficult for anybody to fault him because he carried all the parties along. All the parties were their views were sought.
The court acknowledged the impossibility of quantifying the resources invested in the deceased, but prioritized promoting healing over perpetuating harm. It cautioned the 12 defendants to view its decision as an opportunity for redemption. The case has been adjourned until February 21st for commencement of trial, with the ultimate goal of exploring an amicable resolution.
You're watching the News Hour tonight, coming to you live from Trust TV studios in the nation's capital, Abuja. Coming up ahead, we will be exploring the hidden business of forgotten foreign currency notes in imported used clothing. Plenty more stories after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Here is a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that 24 years after violent clashes, Jos community reunites for peace. You also heard Kano government urges authorities to abide by ruling, hails appeal court's judgment on Emirate Tussle. And now moving on to other stories. 2 factory workers were on Saturday morning rescued by officials of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency and men of the State Fire Service in the Ikosi area of Lagos after they were trapped and almost suffocated while working on a diesel reservoir. A statement by the Permanent Secretary of LASEMA, Olufemi Damilola Oke Oshaintolo, explained that the incident occurred around 10 a.m. on Saturday. According to him, the victims allegedly fell into the reservoir while carrying out repair work on the diesel reservoir. Oke Oshaintolu explained that on arrival, the rescue team discovered that 2 adult males had fallen into a diesel reservoir of a company in Ikosi. He said preliminary investigations revealed that one of the victims accidentally fell into the diesel reservoir while working, while the second victim also fell into the same reservoir in an attempt to rescue his colleague. The Ogun State Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Agency has confirmed that 11 persons sustained varying degrees of injuries following multiple accidents that occurred along the interchange section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway on Saturday. According to a statement signed by the spokesman of the state-owned traffic agency, Babatunde Akínbíyì, the accident occurred at about 7:30 a.m. Akínbíyì said the crash occurred when a Mazda bus collided with a truck that was trying to maneuver its way into the premises of a private company along the axis. He added that another Toyota Hiace bus that was coming behind also collided with the vehicles after losing control. According to him, 21 people were involved in the crash, while 11 people, comprising 8 males, 3 females, sustained injuries. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has invited Shubomi and Wahab, the sons of billionaire businessman Razak Okoya, for interrogation over alleged abuse of the Naira. Trust TV reports that the Okoya brothers were in the news a few days ago after a video clip capturing them allegedly abusing the Naira surfaced on the internet. The police officer who was also seen in the viral video has been identified and detained by the Nigeria police force. There has been outrage on social media following the delay in the arrest of the 2 brothers. However, it was gathered on Saturday that the anti-graft agency had invited the duo to report to the head of the Special Operations Team at the EFCC office in Lagos on Monday, January 13, questioning. To start development, 3 persons are feared dead following a suspected cholera outbreak in the rural community of Isiodum in Andoni local government area of Rivers State. An indigene of Andoni and former chairman of Andoni local government area, Gogo Ogute Isaiah, who confirmed the incident on Saturday, said 3 persons, Michael Agba, Ekenere Awaji Loveday and Abigail Rowland, died as a result of constant vomiting and stooling. Isaiah said efforts are being made to resuscitate others who are affected by the outbreak of the disease. He said he has informed Governor Fubara about the incident, saying the governor assured him that immediate emergency response actions will be carried out to salvage the situation. He called on the state government and other relevant agencies to urgently come to their rescue, saying that the inhabitants of the affected community are on the verge of deserting the community for safety. In the heart of Gombe's thriving used clothing market, buyers and sellers are going about their daily transactions. However, beneath the piles of second-hand clothes lies an unusual discovery that is grabbing attention, as some of the used clothes come with forgotten foreign currency notes, which many, like Bashir, now trade in. Hassan Koli has the details.
For years, traders have been importing used clothes from Western countries, with some of the clothes containing foreign currencies in their pockets. Bashir, a local resident, has turned the practice of purchasing these clothes into a profitable venture. He scouts for foreign notes left inside the clothes and bags, a phenomenon many are now taking note of. When such foreign currencies are found, Bashir buys them from the sellers in the local currency and goes ahead to exchange them at a rate that profits him. In this business, I have an arrangement with the sellers, so if any foreign currency is found among the clothes, I buy them from the sellers. I must say it has been worth the while, because it is what has been sustaining me over the years. As used clothes gain more acceptance in Africa and Nigeria specifically, markets like this one in Gombe have become a hotspot for these hidden finds. For some, it's just a low-key bonus, but for others, like Bashir, it's a way to make a small profit. However, his half-a-decade journey has never been easy. While this is a blessing, it also comes with numerous challenges. For instance, I have found myself buying fake notes because out of many foreign currencies, we are familiar with a few, such as US dollar, euro, and pound. As Gombe's used clothing market continues to thrive, it's clear that this unique trend of hidden currencies is drawing attention from both locals and outsiders. Some see it as a sign of growing nature of second-hand clothing, while others are simply happy to find a bit of unexpected wealth amid the clothes they buy. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
Bashir Abdullahi there doing a unique business in Gombe. Now, away from that, a cross-section of residents of Adamawa have expressed overwhelming support for the recent appointment of emirs and chiefs in the newly established emirates and chiefdoms in the state. The initiative, spearheaded by Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fantiri, has sparked discussions on its potential to enhance governance and foster unity across the state. Gibson Swadigo completes the report.
The appointments followed enactment of law by the Adamawa State Assembly, paving the way for decentralizing the state's traditional system. Governor Fintri has highlighted the significant benefits of this initiative, emphasizing its role in strengthening security and promoting socio-economic development. Speaking on the impact The newly appointed toll holder, Barrister Alheri Nyako, noted that the new traditional rulers will play a crucial role in uniting the diverse people of Adamawa State.
And the fact that I have the privilege now to unite the whole members of the community, I want to say thank God. I want to thank God for that. And the reason why I accepted this position is never about myself, but I've seen the need that our people who are so industrious, who are so hardworking, need to come together in unity, so that the progress that we are making individually, when we bring them all together, the community will grow and develop faster.
Residents have echoed this optimism, commending the governor's vision for empowering local leadership and improving governance at the grassroots. They urge the new emirs and chiefs to lead with integrity and a sense of purpose.
Most importantly, we must thank the mortals that are involved, especially our courageous governor, Right Honorable Amadou Fintri, who has demonstrated courage and wisdom in ensuring that he gives us this identity.
The creation of this chiefdom will lower down the tempo of insecurity drastically, because we know the people are the aim of affairs, that are our kings. This is what we deserve, and we are going to work tirelessly.
Now, His Excellency, by his own wisdom, has decided to look at the true history of these people, not just only the Kilba chiefdom, but other emirates and chiefdoms have been created that is deserving that they should have what historically belongs to them.
Meanwhile, the traditional rulers have commenced their duties, making key appointments and visiting their emirates and chiefdoms. The historic visits have been met with enthusiasm as communities eagerly await the official presentation of staff of office by the governor. Gibson Suadugu, Trust TV News, Yola.
Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has reaffirmed his commitment to leveraging technology for development and revenue growth in the state. The governor stated this during the commissioning of an auditorium and mini-media studio at the Borno Geographic Information Head Office in Maiduguri. The governor commended the agency for its impressive track record, recalling how it has executed several projects and generated 5 billion naira in 2024. He emphasized the agency's crucial role in ending bureaucracy in land management and related issues. Zulum expressed optimism that the Borno Geographic Information System will continue to operate effectively, ensuring transparency in land administration and supporting the state's development strides.
Indeed, the commissioning of these projects will help with the enhancement of how land management and administration is being handled using technology and geospatial services in the state. This administration has prioritized the use of technology in its activities, including e-land management, that has still yet improved the revenue generation, easy processing of land title documents, and encouraging transparency of the staff. Looking at other sources of revenue to sustain our developmental projects is imperative for us as we face the global dwindling of the resources. I'm pretty sure that if well articulated and harnessed, land management and administration will fetch greater finances from a well-planned design society.
You have also approved over 2,000 consents requested from you for deeds of assignment, legal mortgages, and others as mandated by law. Budget has generated about 5 billion in the year under review while processing these applications and processes. To further implement its objectives, the agency needs to carefully and professionally engage all stakeholders involved in the beauty industry in its activities. To this end, the agency has executed several projects with its little resources to have careful engagements and advocacies with the relevant stakeholders.
The First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu has paid a condolence visit to Governor Umar Namadi of Jigawa State and his wife in Dutse, following the tragic loss of his mother and son within the span of 2 days. In her message, the First Lady described the death as immense losses not only for the Namadi family but for the entire nation, and encouraged the family to find comfort in the divine will of Allah. The report.
Accompanying Senator Tinubu were the wives of Vice President Kashim Shettima and Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas, along with other dignitaries and officials. The delegation extended their sympathies to the Namadi family and the people of Jigawa State, emphasizing the government's solidarity and support during their period of grief.
It's God that owns all of us. And when he makes us mothers, it's just part of grace and his goodness shown to us. Anytime he can call any of us home. And I believe that we say, oh, we want to live long. But God is the only one that assigned time to each and every one of us. And we believe that is Abdul Wahab's time. And we pray that God will comfort the mother, comfort the father as well, His Excellency, and the members of the Jigawa State Government family, and also the people of Jigawa.
May Allah grant them eternal rest. May Allah grant them eternal rest. Your Excellency, I want to pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should give you all the reward He's giving for those that console people. You have consoled us, you have done everything to us. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should reward you abundantly. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should reward Mr. President. Allah should continue to guide and protect Mr. President and you to derive this big task of this building these nations.
This visit highlights the compassionate stance of the Nigerian government and reinforces the commitment to standing by its citizens in moments of profound loss and sorrow.
You're watching the News Hour tonight on Trust TV. The news continues after the break. It's nice to have you join us again. And now to developments in business. The Nigerian Marketing Research Association has said it will provide a private sector alternative to economic data following the National Bureau of Statistics website hack. NIMRA President Sheyi Adeoye on Saturday said the hack, resulting in the NBS website being inaccessible since December 18, 2024, showed the need for private sector participation in providing economic data alongside the NBS to aid business and government decision-making. While condemning the hack, Adeoye acknowledged that the incident gave urgency to the need for alternatives. NIMRA had, during its 2024 annual general meeting, disclosed plans to contribute to the country's economic development by championing reliable data and market insights. The association reiterated the need to bring more data sets to the public domain, including household expenditure and other socio-economic classification data. The Central Bank of Nigeria has announced non-resident Nigerian ordinary accounts and non-resident Nigerian investment accounts for citizens in the diaspora. The Apex Bank disclosed this in a statement by its acting director, Trade and Exchange Department, W.J. Kanya, on Friday. According to the CBN, the move, which took effect from January 1st, 2025, would increase diaspora remittances into Nigeria. The CBN added that the opportunity will boost the contribution of the diaspora community to the socio-economic development of Nigeria. The policy comes barely 24 hours after the CBN okayed suspension of approvals for the extension of repatriation of export proceeds. And now to developments on the international scene. Algeria on Saturday rejected France's accusation of escalation, denouncing a campaign of disinformation in their latest diplomatic role, after Algiers sent back to Paris an influencer deported from the European country. Doualim, a 59-year-old influencer, was detained by French authorities in the southern city of Montpellier after posting a controversial video on TikTok. He was sent by plane to Algeria on Thursday, according to his lawyer, but was sent back to France the same evening as Algeria refused to let the influencer enter. France's Interior Minister Bruno Retailleau on Friday accused Algeria of trying to humiliate the former colonial power. Foreign Minister Jean-Noel Barrot threatened restrictions to visas or development aid, telling LCI television that France would have no option but to retaliate if the Algerians continue to escalate the row. The Algerian ministry said their decision was motivated by the desire to allow him to respond to the accusations brought against him, to assert his rights and to defend himself within the framework of a fair and equitable justice process on French territory. Still on the foreign scene, the head of Mali's ruling junta on Saturday met with the de facto leader of Sudan, with both pushes in the grip of military struggles at home. Mali's General Assimi Goïta greeted Sudan's Abdel Fattah al-Burhan as he stepped off a plane for a 48-hour visit, the Malian presidency said on social media. Goïta, then a colonel, took power along with other officers in a 2020 coup that toppled elected President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. Burhan in 2021 forced out the civilians that had been in the government he had led since the 2019 ousting of dictator Omar al-Bashir. But in 2023, his right-hand man, General Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, generally referred to as Hemedti, turned against him, and since then, Sudan has been ravaged by fighting between Burhan's regular army and Daglo's rapid support forces. The Malian presidency said the two leaders would engage in numerous activities during the visit without providing further details. The largest of the Los Angeles fires spread toward previously untouched neighborhoods on Saturday, forcing new evacuations and dimming hopes that the disaster was coming under control. Across the city, at least 11 people have died as multiple fires have ripped through residential areas since Tuesday, raising thousands of homes in destruction that United States President Joe Biden likened to a war scene. Despite huge firefighting efforts, the Palisades fire's expansion prompted evacuation orders in ritzy neighborhoods along its eastern flank, which include the famous Getty Center Art Museum. Winds were forecast to pick up again on Saturday after a brief lull, posing the risk of new fires as embers are blown into dry brush. Los Angeles residents have increasingly demanded to know who is at fault for the disaster as they grapple with the rain, with local anger rising over officials' preparedness and response. It's time now to join Adeni Ajishafe for some sports news.
Aruna's Quadri's hope of starting 2025 with a trophy have been shattered. The Nigerian table tennis star advanced to the quarterfinals of the 2025 WTT Doha contender, securing a narrow victory over Britain's Liam Pritchard. However, in the semi-finals, Quadri faced a tough challenge against Japan's Tomokazu Harimoto, and the match proved to be a one-sided affair. Quadri Aruna suffered a straight-set defeat of 11-9, 11-3, 11-5, thereby missing out on a chance to reach the final. And in squash, Nigeria #1 women's squash player Rufiat Abdulaziz has revealed her ambition to break into the world's top 50 in 2025. Currently ranked 133rd by World Squash Federation, the National Sports Festival singles gold medalist described 2024 as one of her most successful years in terms of performance, despite the challenges. Abdulaziz and 4 athletes from Kwara State represented Nigeria at the 2024 All-African Championship in Windhoek, Namibia. Rufiat Abdulaziz has set her eyes on representing Nigeria at the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics. And in football, the recent outburst of Al Masry FC of Egypt calling Enyimba on professional side as they get ready for their CAF Cup encounter on 12 January has been described as a poorly managed mind game. Enyimba sporting director Ifeanyi Ekweme cleared the air on the news making rounds from the Egyptian side camp. Ekweme said Al Masry are uncooperative, hiding their trip from host Enyimba, booked their local tickets without involving Enyimba International. Ekweme pointed out how Al Masry treated them while in Egypt, making them paid for training pitch before training, allowing them be access to the stadium for just an hour, and wants to use Uyo pitch for 2 days before match day against CAF rules. Ekweme believes Al Masry are throwing tantrum to play mind game before the crucial match. And lastly, former Super Eagles forward Julius Agawa has called on newly appointed Super Eagles coach Eric Sekochel to instill the right mentality in the team. The ex-Shakhtar Donetsk striker emphasized that the key issue with Nigerian players is their mentality, which often stems from their club environment. Agawa said Nigeria have talent good enough to do well while believing Eric Chell brings a better mentality in putting the right influence on the team's work rate and mindset of players when transitioning from their clubs to represent Nigeria. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Achichabe.
Here is a kicker. As an e-mobility company, Ghana's Wahoo Mobility is working to change how vehicles impact the climate and on growing job opportunities for the youth. Expansion plans from the women-led company target women riders in neighboring countries. Take a look.
It's mid-morning in Accra, and a group of bike riders are expecting their motorcycles before hitting the capital city's busy roads for the day's deliveries as lunchtime orders start to come in. Lawrence Akakbo owns a Wahoo bike, an electric-powered motorcycle that is part of a wave of electric utility vehicles impacting on job opportunities and the environment across the continent.
I happened to find Wahoo 3 to 6 months ago, and actually I was at home and I saw one of the old riders riding the Wahoo electric bike, which was so beautiful and so fun. I charge my battery, let's say once a day. That's the 2 pairs once a day. But in a case where I use the bike for a longer journey, let's say, or more deliveries, based on the speed, it's just like buying petrol. If the bike consumes more battery, that means you are overriding it or you are overspeeding. So it will also drain the battery at a faster rate.
Akakbo, like the other 150 Wahoo riders, owes his livelihood to the vision of Valerie Leby, co-founder and CEO of Wahoo Mobility.
At the heart of transport really are delivery riders. There's delivery riders across all major African cities, and that's really our target market. How can we get a good quality electric vehicle that they could ride safely to do their deliveries?
What started as a project in the northern part of Ghana with converting regular motorbikes to electric bikes with the help of like-minded friends birthed what is known today as Wahoo Mobility. The startup describes itself as an electric vehicle EV company that manufactures eco-friendly motorcycles, providing a reliable source of income for youth.
For us, the important thing has been we drive what we call lifetime value. So most people, when they're selling vehicles, look at how much did I buy it for and how much did it cost to produce. But our whole thing is how can you turn the vehicle into a revenue generating asset over time? So one around brokering carbon finance, around earning revenues on delivery, allowing our riders to actually meet their payment plans and pay off over time. Even things like advertising on bike, using the bike, I mentioned, to collect data like air quality data and road safety. Using the bike as a tool is what really drives us to be able to monetize.
Track. Adutwum Herger Adutumwa, an engineer at Wahoo Mobility, originally trained in marine engineering, her curiosity led her to Wahoo, where she oversees quality checks and bike assembly. Despite joining the company just 6 months ago, she's already made a significant impact. A right-to-own initiative is one part of the startup's mission. Different payment plans are available to meet the pockets of would-be drivers, taking away the worry of interested riders who cannot afford to pay upfront.
Women making significant impact there in Ghana. And that's about it on the news hour tonight from our team here in Abuja and other parts of the country. Do not forget, you can always join our YouTube live stream and also follow our social media platforms for more news programs and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.